Welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Scotty and friends.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. How's everybody doing today? Boy, I got a special guest today, and I'm pretty excited to have these folks in. I'm not going to tell you who they are just yet, but it's really important that you guys pay attention to this show, because these guys have been around the block a time or two, and they've seen a time or two, they've heard a thing or two, and they've played for a few folks, which is pretty impressive. And I brought my friend Mark George in as well with me today. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you?
And the reason why I brought Mark in is he's very well connected to these fine folks, and we're going to introduce him to you right after this.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Ready. Let's do this. It's showtime. Please pay attention. Stop what you're doing and welcome our guest.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Mark, you brought us a couple cool guests today.
You know, these two guys, and I should say Julie
guys.
Black. Julie Black is a girl,
beautiful.
But
what are you doing saying
such
guys?
My friends. They're just great people. But I will tell you, a lot of people here in Newport Richey and in Nashville know Julie Black, I'm sure. But I know her, and I know Dave Eichenberger, and they are fantastic. They can look up the Julie Black Band, but I'll tell you what. These guys are purist, and that's why I love them. They're purists like myself.
Well, thanks for the introduction and having them come in. And Julie and Dave, welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville, y'all.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm so moved by those words.
Mark is so sweet, isn't he? He's a super good guy.
It up.
It's true stuff, man. Yeah. I really respect what these guys do.
Listen, Julie and Dave, it's a privilege to have you guys on the show. Your website and visuals are amazing. You guys did a great job on your website. I think that's half the battle, right?
It's always a work in process, right?
It doesn't stop, does it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Any artists out there, that's what this show is really about. I try to bring people in who's either been to the dance or on the way to the dance.
Yeah.
And we try to help them in any way they can to get their life or trajectory in the music business on the right road. And the first thing I do at any time anybody wants to come on the show is I look at their website. It's the very first thing. Just because I want to know really where they're at.
Sure.
And boy, you guys' level is really high up there. I mean,
very kind.
You're playing you're opening for everybody. Who's some of the people that you just are opening for or have opened for?
So many people. Gosh, I'm gonna. There's so many names. I'm gonna miss some of them, but we shared the bill with people like Johnny Winter and Dr. John. I know, pretty cool, right?
Cool.
Rick Derringer.
Yeah. Damon Fowler is a very good friend of ours.
Wait a minute. Let's stay there for a second. When you say a really good friend of yours, what does that mean?
Well, we see each other for many years in the world of music, and from a distance, because we're all working we're working gigs everywhere else.
But what's cool is that when you come up to each other, not only are you artists and
we're
a celebrity.
Happy to see each other.
You're like, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. Tell me about your family. Yeah. What's going on with your dog?
Tell me about your family. Yeah. First thing I always ask. Tell me how are your kids? How's your wife?
That's what I call the inner circle. You kind of know each other and you help each other and you're part of each other's lives and encourage. And where are you playing? What are you doing? What's new?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Dave, you experienced a lot of that as well?
Yeah, and we share music. We'll say, I'm working on this song. Take a listen to this. We watch each other's sets when we're playing a festival. We'll be on the side of the stage when they're playing.
That's fun.
And they'll always listen to us. We love that. We love the fact that the people who are out there actually doing the work really do support each other. Yes. And, they make it easy because, the artists are all going through the same thing.
Yes, sir.
There's less and less gigs, it seems like, every year.
You're right.
We're all going for the same thing, but we don't turn on each other. We're all supportive of each other. As long as they go out there and, they support, what we do as well. And we love the fact that, before we go into a town, there's people that have heard of us because those artists have come in and said, hey, you got to check these guys out. Come out to this show. It's going to be great. So we bump each other's shows all the time. It's really fantastic.
Hey, Mark, remember when I was talking when we went over to the stage over there in Newport Richey? Yes. They want to dedicate this stage in Newport Richey to June and Johnny Cash.
I think that would be fantastic.
That's what I heard is happening. So we're trying to help put that together. But anyway, I told the folks in Newport Richey, I said, listen, artists talk, and you guys are just echoing that. I said, when they go to a venue, Did they sell T-shirts? Were they able to mingle with the fans? Was it secure? Did they feel good about it? How did they do? Would they come back? And I said, artists talk. They're going to say, oh, you're playing that venue. Ugh. Or, oh, my gosh, that's a great venue. You're lucky to play, right, Julie?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And even to that point, artists travel all kinds of places. And we, authentic artists move with inspiration. And so we're very good at reaching the heart of people. And so that works in a lot of beautiful ways. Over the years, a lot of people know that Newport Richey area has been under quite the revival for the past many years. And it's just beautiful. So many wonderful things happening. But I'll acknowledge that for decades, as Dave and I have traveled around different places, we told people about the wonderful things about this town and the wonderful people that exist here. And, the thing about our area is everybody's kind of down to earth and kind of humble. So that story has to be fanned a little bit to get out there. And now we're kind of seeing, like a good gardener, you plant the seeds.
You're an artist. You're a good artist. It's in you. It comes out of you when you speak.
Seeds. Yeah, the goal is to be a good gardener in everything in life, whether it's a marriage, whether it's business, whether it's the place that you live. Plant the seeds, water the flowers, weed the garden, and sometimes you got to guard the gate too.
Yeah, beautiful. Well said. Mark, remember I was telling those guys?
Yes.
That now we're hearing it?
Yes.
It's the truth. And
this is a previous show.
Previous show, yeah. The thing about it is I knew that if you go into a venue and you don't have a good experience or you're not I'm not saying spoiled, but taken care of, protected, all of that, and you're able to be with your fans, it's really tough to want to go back, right? Even though they were going to say, come back and play, you're like, oh, I'm not really sure.
Well, I think of it this way. If somebody invites me over to their house and I walk in the door and they trip me up and they hit me with bats, am I likely to come back? I'm not stupid. I think every person, we want to go where we're embraced and we feel welcome and we feel that we're wanted and invited. And I think that's human nature. Like if you're a bright person, like, you want to go where you're welcome. I don't want to step into spaces where I'm not being embraced.
Thanks. Absolutely. Hey, Dave, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So you're opening for one of these, let's just call them headliners, right? And then you guys have a show that you're the headliner. Do you approach your sets differently? And if you do, how do you by region? How do you do that? When you put your set list together, like when you're going to do a 3-hour show at Tarpon compared to a 60-minute set at Clearwater,
right?
Opening for somebody. Do you guys talk about it and go, hey, listen, I want to do this song. We got to hit this song. Let's hit them with this emotion. I think
every artist has that discussion. Whoever's making the set list, Julie always makes the set list, but we do talk about it a lot, and we do talk about the kinds of things that we want to accomplish in that show. That doesn't mean like if we're playing a jazz festival, we're going to do a bunch of jazzy songs. We never really sway anything that way. We do what we do, and we're just so happy to be accepted doing either blues festivals or jazz festivals or prog rock festivals or, hippie festivals. There's all kinds of stuff we've played at that somehow whatever we do fits in, and they can, but we don't really tweak it to the actual, the venue or the people that are there. We look at, the songs that we're doing. We look at the pacing of the songs. We don't want to do, 7 slow songs in a row. I don't think any artist wants to do that. And we want highs and lows and to have a really big start and a really big finish. But, when you have an hour set, there's not time to get tired. At the end of a 4-hour show, you're kind of tired sometimes, and so it's hard to keep that energy through 4 hours, especially in the Florida heat. You're dying out there. So what happens is that, the shorter shows, which we love to do, any of them. We look at, the amount of music that we have. Julie writes a lot of music a lot of the time. So we wind up with lots of music that we can choose from. So we also think about what we played there last time. Do we want to do it again? How did that feel the last few times that we did it? How well rehearsed is the band at that time? Right. You have to think about all those things.
So listen, artists, when these guys are teaching you something very important. When you're putting your shows together, there is a thought process, and clearly Julie sits down and says, we're at this venue. These are what we're working on now. This is what I want to pitch. This is how I'm going to do that. This is what we're trying to get accomplished in that show. Am I speaking on a turn here, Julie, for sure? I mean, is that kind of what you do?
I think that's fair. I'm a doer and a dreamer. So I'm a very practical person. I like to be very prepared. I like to make sure everything is right and tight. I'm very much that way. And I like to make sure that I have a good framework when I go into a show. That being said, I'm also a very intuitive type person. And so I'd like to make sure I have a process in order for the show. And I will also flex depending on the feeling I'm getting from everyone.
Sure. So
what's right for the moment.
Sure. So will you scrap a song in the middle and go,
yeah.
that's
absolutely.
You have to because you have to.
But I won't scrap a song and then pull a song out that we haven't done for 20 years.
Yeah, gotcha.
I still want it to be a good show.
Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3 on this one, okay? Tell me your one pinch me moment, same time. 1, 2, 3 on stage. What was it?
On stage, like the most...
oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
I would say the first time that I was at the Clearwater Jazz Holiday.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got chills?
Absolutely.
You got chills. You went, my gosh.
It was something
Did you tear up?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
It was something I never thought that, I have had a very down-to-earth approach. I've been writing music since I was 11 years old. Mm-hmm. And when I went to record my first album, a very fortunate set of circumstances that came to me through Bob Langford, I just had a very simple thought, which is that I would be so honored if one person heard one song that I did. And
Dave, what about you? Did you have a pinch me moment ever on stage?
I think the first time that we played the House of Blues in Orlando,
cool.
When we did that show, and there was a room full of people who they had no reason to know who we were at that time. We were a pretty young band at that time, and they were talking. We started playing. They were still talking and just kind of mingling around. And all of a sudden they stopped and all turned around and watched us for our entire set and stopped talking and just watched us. And it was a set of all of our own music. And they hung on every word that Julie sang and every note that I played, and that was absolutely fantastic. I'd never thought that I would play a venue like that. That I've gone to concerts and seen many times. To be on the stage and do that is a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And I'll add part of that Clearwater Jazz Holiday thing is at that year, they had a jam at the Capitol Theater. And so Dave and I were there jamming with some friends of ours, and we look out in the audience, and who's really grooving to the music that we're doing? The folks from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
Which was...
What do you think of that, Mark?
It took my breath away.
Well, let me tell you something. When you see these guys, Dave and Julie and their band, the one thing that I always go away with, it doesn't matter where the venue is, how... some venues, the sound changes. There's one constant consistency, and that's her voice. I always tell people she's the Janis Joplin of Florida. When you hear her voice live, you're like, oh, my God, who's singing that? But, Julie, would you do me a favor? You said a name that Scott didn't recognize, but I do. Could you explain to him who Bob Langford is?
Bob Langford was my producer for my first many albums, and we happened to meet here in Newport Richey. Mm-hmm. And speaking of someone who is very down to earth and kind of humble about his accomplishments, Bob is a veteran of music and has worked with many of the largest names in music in all of the years of popular music. Leonard Skinner, Atlanta Rhythm Section.
I work with the guys from Leonard Skinner.
Oh, there you go. So you guys probably know all the same folks. The Allman Brothers, James Brown,
cool.
The list goes, Joe South, the list goes on and on. So
did you record here? Did you record here in town? Or
I recorded here in town. He had a invite-only studio here in town. Mm-hmm. And so I was very fortunate. He happened to see me playing in Newport Richey one night, and he says, hey, to make the long story short, he says, why don't you come in and record? And I thought, well, I don't know. I was a very introverted person. It's an opportunity to go to college with somebody who knows something. I didn't even understand the gravity of the things that he had done. Sure. But I did feel that he was.
That was probably better because then you weren't intimidated, right?
Absolutely. Other than just being awkward in my skin, which is, that was the story of most of my life. I'm a naturally very quiet and private person. And
that's normal, especially with artists.
Yeah.
And then they get on the stage and they do their thing.
There you go.
Really cool.
Go.
Yeah.
Bob Langford was also the mayor here in Newport Richey.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. He has had many different alternate realities, right? So,
well, I'm in Nashville a lot, as Scott is, and I have a lot of friends up there, especially in the songwriting genre. And I tell them, Nashville's a city on a river. Newport Richey's little Nashville south on a river.
Yeah.
And we have all these connections, Bob Langford and Johnny Cash. And we just had Steve Booth here last week talking about how Charlie Daniels supported the
Angelus.
The Angelus. And he did it for 27 years. We have all these connections to Nashville.
Yeah,
and we have
absolutely.
great musicians here like yourselves. It's just a wonderful place to live. I love this area.
Well, I think to the heart of what you're saying is that there's a vein of authenticity that runs in both places, and that's what we respond to.
That's a good way to put it. I'm gonna.
You write a song. You write a song around that.
So you've had some of the best players in your band that you can imagine, right?
I am so very honored. Yes.
And then, how did you put that together? Did they come to you? Did you reach out to them? How does that work?
I slowly built that. The people who watched my career in the early years, they know that there was a while to get the stabilized band, but the goal has always been for me to work with people that are very inventive, that are very talented, and that put the work in. And because I respect that, and people that I can respect on personal level and business level. And so, they've been cultivated over the years. I met Dave when he came to work on my first album. I actually met him through Bob, but didn't know him. And Bob says, I think we need another flavor on this album. And he mentioned one person who is a very accomplished and very good musician. And he goes, and then there's this other guy. He does this really weird stuff. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, let's get the weird guy. And so that's how I met Dave.
So wait, I had a question. You called it business. Yeah. It's the music business?
It is, absolutely. You can't keep your store open. I'm
it's like running a McDonald's, right? You have to do it.
I am a giving person by nature.
Yeah.
But I also am try to be a very shrewd business person.
That's right.
Now, I live my life by a calling. I feel like what I'm doing is purpose driven.
Sure.
But I honor that. And I honor that in business, not only for myself, out of respect for the people that came before me, out of respect for the people that work alongside me, and also to make sure that there is a path for those who come after me.
Exactly. So that's how I try to teach these guys is it's not just you go down to Nashville, Tennessee, you pick up a microphone, you start playing. It's a business, right, Dave?
Sure.
There's so many moving parts from agencies to not having an agent to dealing with the promoters to filling out your set list to putting your stuff up online to Spotify. The business part of it is just as important as the artistic part, correct?
I think that the business part of it works really hard to mask the fact from the public that it's a business.
Well said.
The way most people consume music, I'm not talking about musicians or people around the music industry, but the way most people consume music is that they turn it on. They enjoy a song. The song is essentially a time machine. It reminds them about a certain time in their life, and that's the way that's their relationship to music. Occasionally, they'll go out to see some live shows. I'm talking about average people, not big, huge music fans, but music is not the center of everything in their life like it is to an artist. Our job in the music industry is to make sure that's there for them and to make sure that they do not have to think about that they can go out, they could see a show. They don't have to think about, geez, that seemed like that was a really hard song for that band to pull off. Mm-hmm. Or, oh, wow, they did a costume change there. That must have been really hard to do that in between songs. It just happens. Right. It's just magic. Yeah. And nobody wants to see what's behind the scenes. And probably, I don't think anyone who's in the music industry wants anyone to see what it actually is.
Right.
Well, and you want to keep the flow up. It's no different than if you were having a romantic dance with a person that you love and you hear the dryer ding. You don't go, hold on, let me go and grab that and turn that dryer back on so nothing wrinkles. You want to keep that moment. You want to keep the magic because our souls need that. Mm-hmm. It's a sacred thing, I feel. Music is a sacred thing.
Definitely.
Dave, talk about a band leader. Julie's the front singer. Sure. Is she also the band leader, or do you have a band leader?
No, she's the band leader.
Okay. So Julie, you conduct what goes on each show, how it goes, how they're going to end a song, how many beats, all that, right?
That is correct. But I also will say that I work with people that I have great respect for, including Dave, who turned me down to be in my band for
David?
a very long time.
Get out.
Until
I had my own band.
Until he came to save the day, and he was my knight in shining armor.
That's awesome.
But he's also separately an artist that I have massive respect for. And so even though, it's my ship, I'm the captain, but I also am smart enough to have an extraordinary team of very accomplished musicians who I love and respect. And I do seek out their advice and contributions and want their input on things. And it's not unheard of for me to go, you know what, that makes sense, because lots of different ways of looking at things is actually very helpful to making good decisions.
2 + 2 is 4, but so is 3 + 1 = 4. So we can get there the same way.
Sure.
It just maybe this way may be a little bit better or different. That's all that is, I think. And I think it takes a good artist and a good business manager and a good leader to be able to do that and can keep everybody on the same trajectory, right?
Absolutely. And it is important. Well, I think, again, it's about being a good gardener, being a good captain. We go out to shows. If we're playing a show and we don't have all the green room accommodations, I'll make sure my band has water. Why do I do that? I do that because I care about them on a personal level,
right.
But I do that because I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be performing at the best of their ability.
It's the little things.
It's what a good captain does.
Yeah, it's the little things that make people know that you care and you're in this mess together, no matter what. Right. Even though you're the quote unquote boss, you're still a team.
That's right.
Because you can't do it without the rest of them.
That's
including the lighting guy, including the engineer.
That's right.
Including the sound, including the guitar tech.
You got to take good care of that garden.
You got to take care of that garden.
You don't take good care of that garden, you're going to have a bunch of dead plants out there.
You guys got to realize what she's saying to you. She's telling you that you have to be able to sweep a stage in order to perform on it. And if you don't know from step 1 to the last step, you're going to fail because you don't know or can appreciate what each one of those people do to make you as an artist look good or sound good or feel good or the band feels good, all that, right?
Well, absolutely. And I think another point to that is, especially in the work that we do, that the vibe or the energy or the atmosphere, the connection is crucial. If we are conveying music that is meant to move people's hearts, it's important that that connection be pure. And the way that we do that is we take good care of each other. We take good care of each other.
Yeah. So what advice would you give younger artists trying to break into like a festival? Because everybody wants to play in front of these big, large.
Sure.
And it's not easy to get to that point. You have to pay your dues, right? You have to pay your dues. And what advice would you just keep plugging away, right? What would you tell them?
Well, absolutely. Persistence is very important. I think anything that you love to do and anything that you're determined to do is worthy of doing well. And so obviously there's different grades of what that is for person to person, but you should always be doing things to the best of your ability. It is always apparent to me if I happen to be out somewhere and I see people that are like, we never practice, but then they'll also complain about that they're not getting the shows. Put your time in. It's like anything else.
Yeah, put your time in.
And if you have a respect for it, then you put your time in and you revere it and you give it the best that you have. The best that you may have grows over time with the skills that you can adapt and the knowledge that you can embrace and grow from. But you should always be giving the best that you have to anything that matters to you in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Dave, what are you guys working on right now? What songs you got out? Where are you playing? What's going on in your lives?
Well, we have a new single that's out that Julie and I put together, and it's a beautiful little song called "Smoking Guitar Cat" about a local town that's in the Tampa Bay area. And we're always recording. We're always trying to, our goal is to have several songs come out at certain increments throughout the year.
Sure.
The fact is that a lot of people aren't buying albums these days. And when you do put out an album, I think it's really difficult. You have 2 or 3 months that you're really promoting it and you're going out there and doing shows and you're doing TV and you're doing radio and you do all that stuff. But after that, it's going to be another year until you have another 12 songs together,
right.
At least. So then what do you do during that time? Well, so we're putting out lots of singles is what we want to do.
You get them on all these streams and they don't pay you nothing anyway. It's a joke. I mean, my last episode I did last week was just about that. You put something out on Spotify, you get 1 million hits, you get, $3,000-4,000. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from a business, again, I'm a person that's driven by purpose, and I am here to connect and move people and to touch their hearts and to connect communities. Very important to me. But the reality is, if you have a store and you give everything away, what happens? You don't have a store. So you have to make sure that, that you can sustain the responsibility of an artist who is working and living that life is to make sure that you survive.
Right. It's a business model.
You have to.
If you want a major record deal, you have to show the label deal, the major label, that you can run a business and you can sustain 6 people on a high end salary, and that's what they look for. They require that. They're going to stay. They want to know. They want to know when you're out doing your shows. Do you have 2 years of consistency where 75% of those shows are sold out or they're ticketed, and they look for all these things. It's running a business. It's running a business. So when you can self-sustain as an indie artist and take care of that business on your own, that's a great success story.
Well, thank you. I mean, it is. If you, sometimes I think that in the world of what I do, and lots of people that I'm sure, that I'm out there and I'm driving and I'm trying and I'm hustling every day. I'm like, hey, look at us. Listen to this music. Listen to this song. You're going to love it. And the truth is, I don't do that because I like being in front of people or I'm like, look at me. I'm not a look at me person. But I know that my responsibility is to reach people with music. I know that's my responsibility and my purpose. And I know that I'm working with extraordinary people who deserve that as well. Sure. And so I'm going to come knock on your door and go, please listen to this song. I think it's right for you.
Mark, first time you went to their show. First time, you remember?
I was invited by Dave.
Okay.
And I went to their show. It was over here at the Chasco Fiesta.
Was it one of those things where you went, all right, I'll come?
No.
And then you went there and went, holy moly.
No. I'll tell you why. Because...
right, Dave? You hear what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I see you smiling over there, sir.
I knew Dave was such a good guitar player. I hadn't known Julie. I met Julie that night. But I will tell you, I'm a purist. And I love the authenticity of their music, but I also love what stuck out to me that night was your voice. And
love that.
If you listen to their newest song, okay, that
their duet, when he was playing and she was singing.
Yes,
beautiful.
I sent you that. I sent them that, and that song to me is wonderful. I've sent that to a bunch of people up north too.
Thank you so
much for that. That support really helps us.
Mark, I'm going to ask them if they'll give you an autograph after this.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting one because I'll tell you.
No, we'll do a picture for sure.
I wish the people listening would just tune into the Julie Black Band and listen. Just one song.
Yeah, tell me the website.
JulieBlackMusic.com.
JulieBlackMusic.com. Check it out. Okay, a few reasons. Number one, she's teaching you everything she can teach you right now. Remember, you're a new artist in Nashville. You're trying to figure this mess out. You just got here from Minnesota, and you go, I got to do this because they make it look so easy. Julie, it's far from easy, correct?
It's far from easy, and that's fun. and that's okay. Things that are worth doing are worth some persistence. But you know what? If you feel in your heart that this is where you're supposed to be, then there is no path that is more divine than the one that is right for you. You just got to keep going.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I got to tell you, when I moved to Nashville, some of my own family and my dearest friends made fun of me, and they don't today. But they didn't know.
Sorry.
Well,
I want to help you right now. I'm so sorry.
But you think about it, it's a pipe dream. You're not going to make it. You're not going to this. It's really tough. And I was okay with that because that for a guy like me, it encouraged me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, now there's a fight. I'm going to show you that
I'm the
we can
same
do
way.
This. Yeah.
Just tell me that I can't do it.
Amen. Amen.
I'll tell you. I mean, I can. Saying with the intention of being humble, I can step off of a big festival stage, having been up for a Grammy nomination, having survived as an indie artist for over 20 years, and all the grit that is required for that, and still have people say to me, "So what do you really do?"
Julie.
You know what?
They just don't get it.
You should go on American Idol. And I'm like, first of all, do you know how old I am?
And secondly, don't go on American Idol. Please don't go on American Idol. That's the worst thing you can do.
There's things for people, but...
I'm the manager. I get it. Don't go on American Idol.
I had one guy told me one time, you know what you really should do? as you should sing share songs and wear a feather boa and sit on people's laps. Mark's melting in his chair over here.
You know what though? But
this is
that's also kind of a compliment. Cher's pretty cool.
And this is where I've come to settle into it. I'm a very sensitive person, in a beautiful way, right? But I was bullied a lot when I was younger, so I am sensitive that way. So like the fact that you tell me you were made fun of, I just want to hug you and go like, I'm so sorry.
Nah, that's okay.
But
it was inspiration.
What I have learned is that people with the best language they have are trying to communicate something positive with me. And so it's not so much what I'm receiving, it's what they're trying to give me. Sure. And so I have to read that intention, which is that they're wanting just to tell me that they enjoyed the music.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't know how to express it. So that was what came out of their mouth already.
I'm a writer. They're not a writer.
They're not a writer.
And I just hug them and say thank you.
So I love this question, okay? Past, present. If you could pick any artist to do a duet with, who would it be, Julie? Pick you have your dream list. I just said, Julie, I'm going to get a hold of that person, even if they're dead, and they're going to do a duet with you. Who would that be, ma'am?
Well, there's so many people on that list, but the top of that list would have to be Solomon Burke. Solomon Burke saved my life, and he is the origin of my story in music. And how I ended up being rooted in early blues, jazz, and soul was because of Solomon Burke. I grew up in very difficult circumstances, and I was not exposed to popular music and was not exposed to TV and things like that. And I had this record that I smuggled, and I played it over and over. And I didn't know when it came out. It came out in the 50s. I didn't know that. And it was the song Cry to Me, which goes, when your baby leaves you all alone and nobody calls you on the phone, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Here I am, honey. Come on, cry to me. That man, through his music, unbeknownst, this is the power of an artist. This is the power of a voice. This is the power of music. Recorded this song in the 50s, found a little kid, I'm not going to tell you the exact year, but later, found a little kid out in the middle of corn and soy country, right, in very difficult circumstances. And not only was the sound beautiful and the music was moving, but it told me that there was a little crack in the door and that somehow I would find a better way in life.
Awesome. Beautiful, by the way. Yep. Thanks for doing that. David, you're going to pick up your guitar and you're going to play with...
It would have to be a Beatle.
Really? And why is that?
Because I think that was the first music. I was born after them, so I got them on the radio afterwards, and I think that was the first stuff that I heard that my little 6-year-old voice could sing along to. That made me think I wanted to play music. And started me on that path. It was music that I could sing. It was music that you didn't have to really, lyrically, you didn't have to put a whole lot of thought into what they were singing about. And I think that it was great for a little kid, for me at that time, to be inspiring to, 4 guys running around, rocking out with guitars that much to the displeasure of parents at the time. I thought that was fantastic.
Was fantastic. Mark, you got anybody? Would you write a song with somebody?
I do. He's going to laugh. If I had my choice, it'd be Doc Watson.
Oh, there you go.
That would be amazing.
That would be my choice, because as he knows, when I first Dave, I went to him because I'm a Travis picker. I'm a Doc Watson type of player, right? But I play all these crazy chords, and I'm like, well, I'm not sure what that chord is. I need a guy with theory. And I met Dave. Remember that?
I remember that. Yeah,
and
it's great music.
Yeah, it's great music. And I said, geez, is there anybody else around to play that? He goes, there's nobody going to know how to teach you that shit. But he helped me so much with the theory of it, because I never had time to do that. Of course, I'm working for a living, and no, it'd be Doc Watson, hands down.
That's cool. What's next for Julie Black? What are you guys doing? What's going on?
Oh, well, this week we have
all your stuff. What's going on?
We're going to be over at Ruth Eckerd Hall, and we are doing garden show for Paul Thorne and Mark Broussard, two great songwriters. You probably know them very well.
Cool.
And we have a lot of festivals coming up with the band.
You got a favorite festival? I mean, I know you don't want to say it, but is there somewhere that you kind of go, I kind of hope that I get to do that this year? Instead of saying it's favorite.
I have to say, for me, it's a Chasco Fiesta here in town. It's a celebration of the town that we live in.
Yeah.
And it's a celebration of the history of the town that we live in. And we get to play.
It's also Florida's longest running festival. It's like the oldest festival, over 100 years.
So maybe, Julie, you'd kind of yes or no?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say Chasco Fiesta. But, I mean, then I felt like we're biased because this is where we live. This is our hometown festival.
But it makes sense.
Well, I mean, it does.
It makes complete sense.
We love being part of that. And also the Clearwater Jazz Holiday takes really great care of their artists, and it's always a great fun. There are lots of things I'd like to be part of, so I'd like to be invited to all the parties, please.
Yes. And they find you where? What's the best way to find you?
Right on our website.
Is there a email that they can send you, or is it, what do they do?
Absolutely. They can hit us up at julieblackmusic@gmail.com. And that information is right on the website, julieblackmusic.com. And we'd love to be invited. All kinds of parties.
That's awesome. Hey, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, Siri, bring me a sandwich.
I can't. I am not a human, you moron.
Oh, well then what's the best podcast she can play me?
Now playing Drop Me Off in Nashville.
Aw, thanks, Siri. Give me a hug.
You are an idiot.
We're back. And we're with Julie Black and Dave Eichenberger from Julie Black Music.
Yeah, you guys, thanks for coming in today. I know it's early and all that stuff, but that's
Can
cool.
you see it all over us?
No, it's just sweet.
Feels like
that
it.
you guys came in.
It's a little sleeping hole eyes.
Heck. Did you probably play it last night, right?
We did play last
Where'd you
night.
play?
We played over in Tarpon Springs. We have a regular gig that we do there over at the Hours Creole Smokehouse.
Wait, I'm coming. Where's that at? Say that
That's
again.
on Tarpon Avenue in Tarpon
Great
Springs.
food.
Mark, let's go.
I'll do it.
Let's go
Great
together next
food
week. I
there.
want to
The
go watch them.
The ribs, they do some pretty amazing
It's a
stuff.
treat to watch these guys, and the food is really good.
Yeah, you want alligator? That's where you get alligator too.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? And
Chef Doug, he's the real deal.
And what time do you play?
We usually play from 5 to 9, but then a lot of activities afterwards. So
Yeah, but that's
Checking
the
out the
place to
band
see them because it's a small venue. But you guys are also opening for Paul Thorne here at Ruth Ecker, correct?
we are. We're opening for Paul Thorne and Mark Broussard.
When's this? No.
That's going to be this week.
That's a beautiful venue.
It
What is
is.
it? You
We're there
think?
to where the big tree is in the back. That's where we play.
That's
It's a beautiful
perfect.
show. It's
Are you
all
excited?
lit up. Absolutely. We've done so many wonderful shows at Ruth Eckerd Hall. We have more coming up.
What do they give
Open
you?
for-
What do they give you? 60 minutes?
Hour and
45.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice set.
But
Good.
we've done shows with we've done the opening garden show for Frankie Valli, for Johnny Mathis, for we're going to be coming up again Paul Thorne and Mark Broussard, Little Feet. So many people that we've done that with. It's just been really wonderful.
So does your agent take care of that, or do they reach out to you, or are you the
Agent meaning us. Yeah, no, we do it. Yeah.
You guys, again, that says last week I was saying you don't need an agent. Don't give away your money. Do it yourself. And when you're good enough, I promise you the venues are going to come back to you over and over again. Right, Julie?
Absolutely. Well,
They
it's a relationship.
It's a personal connection.
Yeah, they know they can call. They know what they're going to get, and they know appreciate. They know your price points. They know your rider. They know your backline. They know all of that.
More importantly,
we take good care of
right?
stuff.
You'll
That's
show
it.
up. You'll be not a pain to deal with. That's a big
Amen.
deal.
For sure. For sure.
You will
Our
have
goal is for everybody to have a good time.
Right.
And if they have a good time, that's always going to be good for any venue that
Right.
we're at.
Yeah, there's very little. They don't have to, babysit us while we're there. We just go do our thing. They know it's going to be taken care of. They also know that as soon as they ask us, we'll get back to them right away.
Right.
Whether we could do it or
their
not.
Time. We respect their time.
And so therefore we're accessible. And we're pain free for them on their part. They're looking to just look at their calendar and say, oh, we got to fill in these spots. A lot of times places that are just booking are not necessarily thinking about. They're not the money people yet. They're just trying to fill up the spots, and so they may send an email or call and say, hey, are you available this day? Well, if we get back to them in 5 minutes. We're probably going to get that gig.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not aggravating.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we have other, shows that we do that do come through agents. So it's agents sometimes do have a function for us that's usually venue or show specific, but we have relationships with many agents that we've worked with over the years.
That you keep on
Yeah, they're not our sole
It's not
thing.
exclusive,
It's not our
yeah.
it's non-exclusive.
So you can do whatever you want, in other words. But if they have something for you, they know they can reach out.
Absolutely, and they know that we're going to take good care of their business as well.
So here's the thing. Remember, new artist. If we could go, I'll go back when we started. The first time you got a big venue and you went in there and it's fun, it's exciting. Wow, I get to open up for this person at this beautiful venue. And you went in there and you did what to make people always want you to come back? Remember, we're trying to help these kids figure out their path in music. So when they get this opportunity, what's the best way for them not to screw it up?
I would say communication is key. You know, if I'm back in those days, and even now, if I'm going into a venue and it's not a venue that I've worked at before, I'm going to go find my point of contact. I'm going to ask them, hey, you know, is there anything that I need to know? Is there anything that we need to know about your crowd? I also want to let you know, because we often handle the sound ourselves.
True professional.
You know, we let them know if the sound needs to be up and the sound needs to be lower. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. You're never going to make everybody happy in a room with the sound volume.
Right.
Some people want it louder, some people want it softer, but we count on them to feel comfortable. We want to let them know you can feel comfortable with communicating with us and letting us know what the need is so that we can make sure everybody has a good time.
Please and thank you goes a long ways, right?
Always and everything.
Oh, it's a
in
big
life.
deal. People remember that.
Yeah.
They remember that. Don't forget that.
I'm a big manners person. Not that I intend to be a big manners person. There are certainly, you know,
Sure.
I don't probably keep the forks in all the right places. I'll be honest.
I hear you.
I don't know how Emily Post would feel about me, but as far as treating people with kindness, courtesy, and respect is always in good form, you know, and
That's awesome.
and manners go a long way. And I'm also a kindness person and a respect person, a compassionate person. So if I pull up on a venue and the first person that I'm engaging with is the person that's taking out the trash, I'm going to talk to that person.
You have to.
Absolutely.
You know why? Because they talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Dave, if you could go back to the first time you started and you could say, I'm going to go back to my wisdom self of who I am today, and I'm going to go back to this kid who was just getting started. What advice would you give yourself? If you could sit yourself down, what would you say?
Well, I would probably remind them that, for one, like Julie just said, everyone you encounter on a gig is worthy of a conversation. And they have stories that actually might enrich your life. So that's a great thing. Always talk to everybody. I would also remind everyone that other bands, other songwriters are not competition for you. They're your friends. You know, these are people that we could all rely on. You know, think of it as that we're all going through the same thing. So don't treat them that their spot on the festival is 2 hours after you and they have a better spot, that they're somehow above you or something like that. They're not. We all can rely on each other. And when we get to the show, the camaraderie between all the musicians in all the bands is priceless. It's really wonderful. We encounter them all the time on all these shows. We are, you know, especially here in Florida, we're all playing the same festivals. You know, at a certain level, you're going to run into these people all the time. And I want them, when our name comes up in conversations when we're not there, for them to say, oh, we really dig those guys. You know, and I was not aware of that when I was young. I think when you're young, you're thinking like, well, wait till they get a load of me.
Sure.
They're going to be blown away,
Sure.
You know, and you feel that way.
Sure.
And I think that, you know, there's a certain amount of bravado that you have to have to get up on stage to begin with. But also remember, you know, it's a big community out there, you know, and honestly, most gigs that we wind up with is because of people that we've had personal connection with.
So it goes right back again. Manners. Be polite, be respectful, do what you're supposed to do. Julie, what about you?
That's always going to serve you well.
Sit down with Julie and say, Julie, I want to tell you something, and I'm you X years from now. I'm going to teach you something. Please listen to me, honey. And what would you say to her?
Well, I think the thing that was a challenge for me to get over the threshold of, the thing that I would say to myself as a younger person who was very different in some ways than I am now, you have a purpose, Phil, and you're here to connect with people, and you're here to help them, and you're here to tell stories that people can't tell for themselves. And you're here to hear stories. As Dave said, every person is a little universe walking around, and they have their own body of experiences. And what a gift is that when somebody tells you a little bit about who they are or their life or their experiences. And as a songwriter, that's one of the things that I do is a culmination, maybe not the exact specifics to one person or to anything that would reveal anyone's secrets, but all of that gets woven in because all of that information, just as in the traditions of the bards back in Ireland, all of those are lessons, all of those are stories, all of those are understandings of
take them in
of ways that we can grow and learn and evolve and stay connected to each other.
Absolutely. So did I hear you right? You guys are Grammy nominated?
Yes, I was up for a Grammy nomination.
I gotta apologize, number one, because I didn't find that, and I'm sorry for that. We need to talk about that.
Well,
congratulations, by the way. Let's talk about that. What was that all about? What was that for? Did you go? What? Tell me about it.
I didn't get the invite to go, but so that actually came through a remarkable artist. You might know her name. Her name is Shawn Murphy. And she is an extraordinary vocalist. She has her own band, the Shawn Murphy Band. And she
local?
No,
she's big time.
out of Nashville, I believe.
Really? I don't know.
And she's worked with Eric Clapton.
Awesome.
She was the very first Caucasian woman on the Motown label.
Wow.
She was part of Stoney and Meatloaf. She has an extraordinary voice.
Shame on me for not knowing, but I'm going to.
Earth-shaking voice.
Thank you for introducing
performing,
me.
Still making great shows. And through a local friend, because there's so many amazing people locally, our friend Mark Goodman had connected us and said, I know this girl Julie, and Shawn was looking to write some music, and she was open to the idea of doing like a little songwriter camp, and let's work. So we spent about 48 hours together, and we wrote about 20 songs, and of those 20 songs, 2 of them so far have ended up on albums for her, and the Grammy nomination was for a song called Heartless Man Blues, which was a song that Shawn Murphy released. And you just got to hear it. It's amazing. It was a really wonderful and enjoyable song to write and to partner with her to write. But also just the pure energy that she brings into music is enough to make you lose all your hair.
That's a very sweet compliment on her part, and good for her for opening her doors to write with you.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of artists need to realize that there is talent out there, and don't just because that you're the big time, don't feel that you can't write with the new time.
She's running in circles with people that are legendary that I never in a million years would imagine. She's worked with Bonnie Raitt. She was the lead singer for Little Feat for many years. But she gave you a chance. She did. Because she's a beautiful, because she's a creative person, B, because she's a beautiful person. Yeah. But I think a lot of people need to understand that there is talent out there. No, sure, we're going to get our time wasted once in a while with some people that you think is going to be a writer and they're not. Sure. But when those opportunities come, Dave, you got to take them, right? Yeah, and I think it also can be difficult. I recognize, if you're the president, if you're the most famous rock star in the world, whatever, most famous country music artist, is that you probably get millions of people knocking on your door, and you start to question, like, who can I be comfortable with? Right. Who can I trust? So who's not going to sue me? Who is? So sometimes that is the personal connection. It was Mark Goodman, who is a photographer, among many other things. He's also a music promoter, but very active in the music community. And it was on his recommendation, I think, that she felt like this is a safe person for me to engage with. So, Julie, you write this thing. You guys get done. You look at each other and you go, we might have something here. So did you leave it up to her team to protect your rights, or did you trusted in them to do right, or did you go in and register your own songs and copyright and all that? How did you handle as far as registration? My publisher at the time, who was Bob Langford at that time, handled all of that stuff. So that took care of you. Yeah. Yeah, because you have to, right? That's a good lesson for anybody to learn. You just can't go, if somebody says to you, yeah, we got this great song, but nothing's going to happen with it, you have to go, wait a minute, let's just make sure we're protected and do the right thing. And I'm glad that you did that, right? Absolutely. Well, it's no different than if you want to rent a house to your best friend, right? The smart way to make sure you maintain that friendship is to have a contract, to write it all down so everybody knows what the deal is. Right. The deal is there on paper. We've agreed to it. And that way, you know what the deal is. I know what the deal is. And it doesn't have to affect our friendship if there's any questions that come up down the line. And sometimes questions come up not with a nefarious intent. Sometimes questions just come up because we remember things differently.
That's it.
There's many different angles to truth. And so
that's it. That's it. That's it.
That's the whole shebang.
There's your truth, my truth, and then there's somewhere in there, there's the real truth, right?
Right. There you go.
Mark, thank you for this gift of these two people today.
I wanted to bring some authentic blues singers and some really good
you
folks
did it.
here.
And the advice, Dave, that you gave, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's such a wonderful opportunity to be here on your really cool at your cool studio and on your cool
studio.
at your podcast.
Julie, congratulations on all your success. I apologize about the Grammy thing again. Thanks for singing a little bit for us today.
Thank you for inviting us in.
You're welcome back anytime, honestly, because I think this was great. And again, I'm just trying to help these people that are getting involved in music, and they're trying to figure out their path. And it's a business, and we have to treat it as such, right?
Well, absolutely, because that is what sustains you. My goal as an artist is to create and to live. And if you don't sustain yourself, you cannot live.
That's it.
And so you have to handle those details as well while you're following your purpose, and that does not diminish your purpose at all. You're just doing what you have to do to keep moving forward. That's the goal. Keep the lights on, keep moving forward.
Dave Eichenberger, sir, thank you.
Thank you very much. This has been a great opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time.
Such a pleasure.
Thanks for joining Scotty and Friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Drop Me Off in Nashville family. Engineering and production provided by Podcast Production Music.
Well, Nashville, can't thank you enough for all the time.
Y'all come back now. Here?